Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first summit presented to you by Dogs Can Change Lives. I'm Marcia Ernst. I'm owner of Everyday Aaron's Pet Services in Suquamish, Washington, and I'm one of the founders of Dogs Can Change Lives. I'll be your host today, and we'll share a little more about myself throughout the summit. So, a little bit about the group that you've joined here. Dogs Can Change Lives. It was formed by a team of heart-centered business owners who are all intentional about creating a livelihood centered around our love of dogs. Dogs have changed each of our lives in very profound ways and taken us to places we never could have imagined. So join us today. Feel free to leave comments throughout the summit. If you're watching live, we will be able to see those. If you're watching the replay, you can still comment, and we will be watching those over the next few days. So again, feel free to converse, especially if you're live with us here today. We'd love to know that you're here. Just say a little hello, let us know where you're from, and if you have any questions for the speakers throughout the event, there will be a little bit of interaction today, but you also might want to jot those down because there will also be a Zoom follow-up Q&A on Sunday. So we do hope to continue building this group and presenting valuable information, webinars, networking events, and more live summits like this one to support and inspire as we all build our canine career worth barking about. So now, if you've already created a career in the pet space and you're looking for ideas or next steps, or maybe you're interested in knowing how you can make an impact on the lives of others while turning your love of dogs into a real business, then you're in the right place if you are. And if you're looking for inspiration, support, and a community of like-minded dog lovers, then this group and this summit are definitely for you. So again, I welcome you, and I hope you enjoy and find value with today's speakers. So let's take a peek at the comments. It looks like Mindy Anderson is joining us from Bainbridge Island, Washington. I see Tia from the San Francisco Bay Area and Julie from New Orleans. Welcome to all of you guys this morning. So let me just give a little bit more information about me. After 7.5 years in the U.S. Navy, followed by 10 years in corporate accounting, in 2017, I found myself incredibly burnt out and unhappy. So I quit my job and I started my business, Everyday Errands. It was definitely one of the hardest and easiest things I've ever done, because from a mental health standpoint, it could not have been a better decision. I'm now so much calmer and so much happier than I've ever been. But from a financial standpoint, it was like taking a huge step backwards. So by the fall of 2018, although my pet services were doing well, I knew that I needed another stream of revenue. And I started racking my brain to figure out what that could be. Well, around that same time, I started seeing an ad in my Facebook stream, and it was for a pop-up opportunity with a company called Dog is Good. Now, it took me a few weeks and a lot of time seeing that ad before I clicked on it to see what the opportunity was all about. But I'm so glad that I did, because my life has not been the same since I did that. But for now, that's enough about me. I'll pick back up with myself, my story with you guys a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to bring in our first speaker. So our first speaker is Kalia Quinores. And I met Kalia in the spring of 2019 as we were both starting our Dog is Good pop-up shops. Kalia not only impressed me with her honest and authentic approach to life, but she also has a great business mind and is super creative in her communities. Kalia is a solopreneur, a dog mom to 2 rescued pups, a podcast host, a pop-up shop owner, and so much more. And I'm sure that you will all enjoy meeting her and be inspired after hearing her today. So with that, let me introduce you all to Kalia. Hi, Kalia. Thank you so much. I'm not hearing you at the moment, but thank you so much for being here this morning. And I'm really excited to have you talk to the group.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Right on. All right, well then I'm going to turn the stage over to you, and you guys enjoy Kalia.
All right. Thank you so much, Marcia. That was like an awesome introduction. But as she said, my name is Kalia. I'm an unapologetic dog mom of 2 fur babies. And since we are all dog people here, I want to kick off with a quick introduction to them because that's who everyone really wants to meet, right? So my boy Ryder here will be 8 next month, and I adopted him when he was 1. He's a hound mix, a lover of stuffed toys, and a faithful mama's boy. Our princess Lena here is 4 years old. She's a cattle dog mix, and she has been the icing to our pack cake since we adopted her at the end of 2018. She's a lover of tennis balls and a self-proclaimed diva dog through all her many roo-roos that she likes to offer. My partner James and the pups and I are in Washington State, and we currently live in a 26-foot travel trailer super close to the beach, so it makes us very happy. But today I am here to talk to you guys about the importance of storytelling and how I turned my mess into my message. So to do that, I have to tell you a little bit about me and my story. So, ever since I could remember, I dreamed of owning my own business. And I finally decided to put my plan into action after like just a soul searching transition into my 30s. So, in 2017, I started a blog called Front Seat Rider, of course, named after Ryder, my little hound mix. And it started as a side project, and I with all the hopes in the world to make it my full-time gig. But either way, it was just a great way to share my love of dogs. And I started writing articles solely about dog ownership, but then I realized that my mission for Front Seat Rider had to be so much more than just dog ownership. I had to come up with blog posts, and while I was doing that, it forced me to really think about all the bonds with the animals I've had in my life. And I've always known animals have played an important part in my entire life, but it wasn't until trying to come up with these blog posts that I realized that animals truly had been my saving grace. They were absolutely the sole key to my survival. So, as you can, like my bio said for the summit, I had been dealing with depression and anxiety behind closed doors for decades at that point. But Ryder entering my life at the time he did showed me that I was strong enough to start fighting harder for my life, and he supported me in my journey to sharing more about my story and speaking out about the mental health stigma. So 2 short laters after launching the blog, I decided Front Seat Rider's mission would be to empower dog moms on their journey through self-discovery and depression. Oop. One more. There we go. So a lot of people talk about finding their passions in life. And with my background, with mental health issues, it was really hard for me. It seemed a very difficult and daunting task to look into my passions. So instead, what I did was I started exploring the concept of a message. Like, what did I really want people to know that I stood for? What message did I want to share with the world? And through this process, I learned that sometimes the most direct path to finding your message is to look through the things that you've already overcome in life. Because a powerful message and a mission almost always stems from personal experience, much like mine has. Sorry. Sorry, I just lost my spot. Okay. So, that being said, the first thing we need to look at are your stories. The one thing that connects all of us humans is the ability to pass information, which is also known as storytelling. So, whether you are a business owner, you're thinking about creating a brand, or you're looking to make more meaningful connections in the world, storytelling is definitely where it's at. Stories not only entertain us, but they build trust, compassion, empathy. And if you really think back about the stories that are your favorite stories, the underdogs and rags to riches stories, it doesn't take long till you start feeling for that main character. You start rooting for them and cheering them on, and they end up becoming an example of the power we have to really accomplish what we want in life. But the best part of storytelling is that we are all storytellers, no matter whether you think you are or not. When somebody asks you about your day, what do? You immediately start recalling what happened. That is storytelling in a nutshell. So it's our job to figure out what stories we have inside us and which ones we are ready to share in a more meaningful way. So, how do we actually find our stories? I want to walk you through an exercise that'll help you in this. First off, this is an exercise that you can do later, but I'm just going to walk you through it. You'll need a piece of paper, and you'll start making a list of all your experiences. And this can include anything like the obstacles you've overcome, your big life events like weddings and birthdays, moments that have made you proud, moments that have made you sad, just anything that comes to mind. And I want you to remember that this exercise is just for you. So make sure that you're super open-minded and you're honest with yourself. And know that if you need a break, you can come back to this later because you might be stirring up some emotions. But once you feel good with that list, either grab a new piece of paper or split that paper in half. And now I want you to look at every single entry that you wrote about your life experiences and create a new corresponding entry to that. I want you to make that corresponding entry something that you are thankful for, a reason that you are thankful for experiencing that event. It could be a silver lining as a result of that experience, a simple note of gratitude, or just a lesson you learned during experiencing this situation. And then once you have an entry, a response for every entry, go ahead and look it over again and look for any overarching themes in your life or any big takeaways that stand out for you. Are there a number of events that have helped you learn the same life lesson? Because this lesson or compilation of lessons can really become your message, therefore, going forward. And all the events that you listed that have now supported that life message are your stories and how you'll end up conveying that message to your audience. So look back over the list, figure out which stories that you are truly feel comfortable and ready to share with the world. Because the more you focus on your message through storytelling, the more attractive your mission, your brand, your business, ultimately you become. Now, this can be not ready for that slide yet. This can be an exercise as a running list or just a one-time thing, but I have personally done this exercise many times in my life on different occasions. And the way that Front Seat Rider really shares our message with the world is our pop-up shop for dog lovers. So the products and messaging that I include in my shop serve as a tangible reminder of how dogs make us feel on a daily basis. I have stories that are connected to many, many designs and products that we offer, all in support of erasing the mental health stigma and really embracing that unique, genuine bond that we all feel with the animals in our lives. And I'm proud to say that my shop now helps fundraise for organizations aiding in animal advocacy, mental wellness, and community building. So now it is your turn. How are you going to turn your mess into your message? If you want to walk through this exercise a little bit deeper, I've created a workbook for you guys to help guide you in this process of finding your stories and turning your mess into your message. And if you would like to download that, you can find it at the link provided on the slide. It is pack.frontseatrider.com/findyourstory. And I would absolutely, absolutely love to hear what you've come up with. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, we're at Front Seat Rider. You can also email me at hello@frontseatrider.com, or just hop on over to the website and check out what we've been doing so far. But I just want to thank you so much for being here today. This summit is going to be awesome. I love everyone who's been behind this mission of creating this summit, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the event.
Kalia, that was so great. Thank you so much. I've been doing the same thing, working on getting some stories together. And I like how you said that sharing our stories, that not only does it help to build awareness around, whatever we're talking about, but our brand, and like you said, us in general, it all comes back to us as a person. So I've been working on getting my stories together so that I can start sharing more too. So you guys will hear little tidbits here and there today, but thank you so much for being here today, Kalia, and sharing all of that with us. And for those of you who would like to learn more or get to know more about Kalia, you can connect with her on her website for Front Seat Rider, and that is frontseatrider.com. And she has links to everything that she does over there. And we will put a link. I did put it in the comments, but it kind of looks like maybe it only went to the YouTube. But if you can see that, there is, oh no, it did go to all of them.
Okay.
So I put the link to her workbook is here in the comments. And I will also put a link to that in the group, Dogs Can Change Lives, so you can find it in either one of those places. So again, Kalia, thank you so much for being here today, and we will be seeing you in the group.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, so that was Kalia from Front Seat Rider, and she's a great friend of mine. She's been a very fun business partner throughout. We've often combined our pop-up shops to do larger events in the area since we're both in Washington. And it's been a great time working with her. So I appreciate you being here today, Kalia, and I hope you all enjoyed meeting her also. So we are going to, actually, I'm going to share a little bit with you guys, a little bit more about myself, and then before we bring up our next speaker. So I did share that I had in 2017, I kind of hit a wall. I was not happy. And each and every day there was this mantra happening in my head. And it was that I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. And then it started to become, I hate my life. I hate my life. And when that started happening in my head, I knew that I needed to change something. If I truly hate my life, then I need to do something about that and make some changes so that I don't feel that way anymore. So like I told you, I quit my job, and it was hard. It was a huge decision. I know that there's probably some of you guys out there today that are sitting in that spot. You're not real happy with what you're doing. You'd rather be doing something else, but you just don't know. And we get comfortable in our jobs. It's a paycheck, and it's insurance. It's all of those safety things that are important. So we get comfortable, and sometimes we forget, that it doesn't have to be that way. You can walk away from a job. It's hard. It takes some planning, and you have to do it the right way, but it is doable. So I was able to do it, and the speakers that you're listening to today have all been able to do it. So you guys can do it too. So again, if you're in that place and you're wondering, should I, could I, can I? Yes, you absolutely can. I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine. And, it was during that time when I just hated my job, but I didn't know what to do about it because I was in that place of comfort. I was in that place where I had a steady paycheck coming in and I had health insurance and, I had a long work day or whatever, but I was content, I was comfortable. So when I guess when the stress and the crappiness of the situation started to outweigh the content that I was feeling was when I made that decision that it just wasn't worth it anymore. It was taking time away from my dogs, who were at the time getting older, and I wanted to spend time with them. The job itself, I don't know anyone else, an accountant out there. It's not the funnest job in the world, and there's a monthly cycle that you follow in accounting, and I was a property accountant, so it was a very strict monthly cycle that we followed, and it was month after month after month the exact same cycle that I was following, and it really was driving me crazy. And I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said, man, I wish I could just spend my day with dogs and get paid for it. And she looked at me and she said, why can't you? And I was like, yeah, why can't I? And it was probably, it was a few months after that I finally quit my job and started Everyday Errands. Now, again, for those of you who are in that place right now where you're kind of like, I don't know. I am my only means of support. I'm single. I don't have children. I don't have a husband. I don't have other people who support me. It's all up to me. So that alone can be a big, huge thing for someone, because you can't. And I was always like, I can't quit a job unless I have another one because I have to take care of myself and I have to like that. It's up to me. Like I have to have a paycheck. But again, I guess the uncomfortableness or the unhappiness that I was feeling in that career started to outweigh the comfort of having that paycheck. So I quit and I started Everyday Errands. And in the beginning, I was all over the place, you guys. It wasn't an easy, quick, let me just start this business and I know exactly what I'm going to do and I'm just going to do it. I didn't know. I knew I wanted to hang out with dogs and spend time with dogs and, walk dogs or whatever. But I couldn't imagine being able to cover my bills and keep myself afloat just walking dogs. So that's kind of how Everyday Errands came about. Was I added some other services onto the business so that I had a broader offering to people, hoping and thinking that that would bring in a little more money and I would hopefully make my ends meet and be able to start building a business and working for myself. So in the very beginning, in addition to the pet services, I was doing some errands. Like when people go on vacation, I would go take care of their plants, or if somebody has some dry cleaning that they needed dropped off, but they didn't have the time to go do it, I would run those types of errands for people. Even grocery shopping, I offered shopping and all kinds of things. Now, keep in mind, this was before COVID, because now I'm like, oh man, had that still been a part of my business when COVID hit, like that probably could have, really taken off. But luckily, and good for me, because that's truly what I wanted to do, was be with the animals and spend time with animals and be a dog walker mostly. Thank goodness that part of the business is what took off. That part of the business is what I started to get calls about, and I started to get jobs and started to build a business around. So at that point, I just added the pet services to my name. So I am Everyday Erin's Pet Services. And that is all that I offer are services for your pets. I do in-home sittings. I do dog walking. I occasionally board pups at my house. And it's been so much fun. It's been a blast. And yes, Vicky, when my friend looked at me and said, "Why can't you?" Right? What a great friend. What just a great moment and a great thing to say, because so many people in a situation like that, family, friends, whatever, they would be like, "Yeah, you can't make a living doing that. Like, why would you even consider that? That's not gonna make you any money." But she didn't. She just said, "Why can't you?" And yeah, that really did change my frame of thought, because in that moment, I did stop and go, yeah, why can't I? So like I said, it was a few months after that conversation before I actually took the big leap and quit my job. But I did do that. And like I said, I've been building the business ever since. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful time for me. So our next speaker is also a pet sitter. So that's pretty exciting for me to bring her here to speak with you guys, although I'm not, oh, there she is. So let me introduce her to you guys then, since she's here and ready to go now. So Chris Scholl, also known as Chris the Critter Sitter. You guys have probably seen her in the group corresponding. And I myself, I've only known Chris for a short time. But of course, I immediately felt a connection as a fellow pet sitter. And you guys, when I asked Chris if she would speak at this today, there was not a hesitation. She stepped right up and gave a quick yes. And I'm truly grateful for that. So let's bring Chris, the critter sitter, on the stage. There she is. Hi, Chris.
Hey.
How's your day going?
It's good. It's good. Yep. It's Friday. So, of course, as you know, the weekends are going to pick up. So tonight's going to be a little busier, but so far so good today.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the stage over to you so that you can share a bit of your story with the viewers.
Okay, great. Well, hey, you guys, I'm so honored to be a part of this summit and just spend a little bit of time with you today and tell you a little bit about myself. As Marcia said, I'm Chris the Critter Sitter. I have Chris the Critter Sitter Pet Sitting Services. Try saying that 5 times without getting your tongue twisted. I actually started pet sitting in 1998 after reading an article in Cat Fancy magazine about this new up-and-coming career for those that wanted to work in the pet world. After reading the article, I thought, why not? At the time, my husband and I had 3 dogs and 3 cats. And he said no more animals, which is kind of ironic because now I have 5 dogs and 5 cats, and never meant to be that way, but you know how it goes, it just kind of happens. But after I read the article, like I said, why not? So this is really going to date me, but I took an ad in the classifieds of my local newspaper with my home phone number. And ironically, I got my first call not too long after that. It was a family that had a corgi and a ferret. Well, I had never taken care of ferrets before, but once again, I said, why not? Those 2 words, why not, have allowed me to have some of the most amazing experiences over the last couple of years. Not only have I taken care of a plethora of dogs and cats, but I've also had the privilege of taking care of horses, donkeys, goats, pigs, parrots, chickens, ducks. Let's see what else. Hamsters, guinea pigs, fish. I've even taken care of bearded dragons and an iguana. I actually had a client a while back that had pet prairie dogs, if you can believe that. And I actually have a client now who raises homing pigeons that he races. So needless to say, I have learned so much over the last couple of decades of doing what I do simply by saying, why not? For those of you that don't know what pet sitting is, pet sitting allows clients or pets to stay in the comfort of their own home, and the sitter comes to visit them a couple of times a day. For me, most of my clients have me come twice a day. I have seen an uprise in that where clients are requesting 3 to 4 times a day. It just kind of depends on the setup that the pet has at home and what the pet's needs are. Also, along with that, I add in bringing in the mail and the newspaper, turning the porch light on, off and on, putting the trash out on trash day, just to kind of give a safeguard for the home. It's just a wonderful option for anyone that obviously has multiple pets or has those pets like a horse or a donkey that can't be boarded. I could tell you some pretty incredible stories over the last couple of years that I have experienced. As my pastor says, they're not always rainbows and cupcakes. Add in the human side of me and add in working with animals, and obviously some things are going to happen. But at the end of the day, I love what I do. And obviously being in business for as long as I have made some lifelong relationships with people who are more like family to me. Of whom I've been able to share life experiences with simply by taking care of their animals. By doing what I do, I've allowed people to have their own babies, go visit their first grandbaby, be a part of their kids or their children's school events. I've been there for them through their graduations, marriages, anniversaries, birthdays, or just being a part of making their memories with having family trips. Also being there with them when they've lost a spouse or a parent, or even actually, of course, their loved ones. Being in business for 20-something years, I've had enough experience with that as well. I've had some experiences I would never want to have again, but I wouldn't trade them for anything because of what I've learned through them. Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys today is something else that I'm pretty proud of. In 2016, God gave me a poem about a sunflower that compares yourself to other flowers. So Mary Lou the sunflower sees other flowers as prettier, smarter, funnier, more popular. Some flowers can sing and dance. Some flowers play instruments. And some flowers can even paint pretty pictures. But all Mary Lou has is this handful of seeds to share with others. Well, her friend Hannah, who happens to be another sunflower, reminds her that God created us all for a purpose, and there's a special reason why she has the seeds in her circle. And so she encourages her to share all of those seeds as much as she can. So the reason I share that with you today is that poem I thought it would be such a cute children's book. And at that time, you can't have a children's book without artwork, right? So at that time, I tried. I tried to do my own artwork. I even tried to do some computer-generated stuff. Some of it was quite comical. Some of it was pretty scary. So out of discouragement, frustration, and honestly disappointment, I put the poem away and sat on it for about 3 years. Well, in 2019, I brought the poem back to life. I met with a local publisher that I had met, ironically, in 2016. I shared the poem with him and my mission, my vision for the poem, and he said, I have an artist in mind. I'm going to approach him about it. The artist was all for it, and so Mary Lou's Purpose Blooms came to life. And so the reason I wanted to share that with you is I think we all fall in this problem of comparing ourselves to others. And by comparing ourselves to others, we hold ourselves back from fulfilling the purpose that God has put before us. I am so bad about wrapping myself up with the fact that if I have this purpose, everything I need to complete that purpose must be within myself, right? I should be able to do it all. Well, obviously, as with this production of this book, it's been proven wrong that God puts people in our lives sometimes that we can lean on to complete that purpose. He's given them that talent to walk alongside us and to fulfill the purpose that He's put before us. So I would love to gift you all with a copy of Mary Lou's Purpose Blooms. So I'll share my email address here again in a little bit, but I want to encourage you not to let comparing yourself to others keep you from fulfilling your purpose. You've been given a passion to work with animals. You may already be working with animals and want to add something to it, but I want to encourage you not to let comparison keep you from completing your purpose. So go for it. Unlike Marsha and some of the others that you hear about today, you don't have to quit your full-time job. I actually didn't do pet sitting full-time until about 2 or 3 years ago. I worked full-time for the first 10, 12 years. My late husband and I owned our own doggy daycare and pet hotel. When my husband passed away, I went to work for a local veterinarian clinic, all the while doing pet sitting on the side. So there are options out there for you that want to work in the pet industry. And there's all kinds of things out there. So don't feel like you have to quit your full-time job. That can be down the road. You might want to put your toes in some of the things that are out there to work in the pet industry and find out just where God wants you. So I just want to encourage you, just like with Mary Lou, share your seeds. Get out there and figure out where your next step is. And like I like to say, there's people out there waiting for you to take that next step. Also, one last thing I wanted to share with you guys is I joined the Dog is Good family in January, and several of us from the Dog is Good family have joined together to do a fundraiser through the month of June to raise funds and awareness for an organization called Not One More Vet. NOMV provides mental and emotional and even financial support to those in the veterinarian world who are struggling or actually considering suicide. Believe it or not, 1 in 6 veterinarians is believed to consider taking their own lives because of all of the emotional and fatigue that they go through with working with our animals. So through the month of June, all of us in the Dog is Good world are going to donate a percentage of our proceeds from our businesses to Not One More Vet, but we could use your help. We just need help getting the word out. So the more we can get the word out, the more we can raise awareness for this organization and we can raise funds for them as well. So I'm going to give you my email address. First of all, please email me your mailing address. I would love to send you a copy of my children's book free of charge. And I promise your mailing address will not go past my eyes. I wouldn't know what to do with it anyway because I'm not computer literate, believe me. And then also let me know if you would be willing or would like to help us with the Not One More Vet fundraiser. So with that, I'm going to shoot it back to Marsha. I have absolutely loved being a part of this today. And I want to encourage you again, take that next step. Don't look at what everybody else is doing and look within yourself and see what you're able to do. Thanks,
Yeah,
Marsha.
exactly, Chris. I love that. That's so true. And we're all guilty of that comparison thing where, you know, you do.
Yeah.
I often, I'll find myself, I'll do something and I'll be like, oh, that was pretty good. And then you hop on Facebook or you walk down the road or whatever it is and you see somebody doing it twice as good as you just did. And then you're like, oh, man, I guess that wasn't so good.
Yeah, right.
No, it was good.
Yeah, you do you.
Yes. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, I didn't give my email address. Can I give my email address real quick?
You can give that, and
Yes.
we'll also have posts in the group. We'll put a link so that they can get to you to get your book. And of course, we also have Chris has a Facebook page for her pet sitting business. So you can find her on Facebook as Chris the Critter Sitter also, and connect with her that way. And you can receive direct messages and whatnot via Facebook, correct? So if people would like to send you their address to grab a book, just send Chris a DM and she'll send that out your way.
Yes.
Awesome. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you in the group. All right, Chris, that was so good. All right, let me find. Oh, next is super exciting, you guys. It's a live pop-in guest, so I'm just gonna jump right in with her. Well, first, let me tell you just a tiny bit. So this is going to be a good friend of mine, Leslie Mate. I have known her for several years. She is owner of Leslie Sharon Events, and she's been traveling around to events and festivals as a vendor since 2016. And today she's going to be joining us live from Lions Agility Club in McCook, Illinois, where she is at her pop-up shop. So let's bring Leslie in. Hi, Leslie. You're muted.
There we go.
There you
People are
go.
shopping. Yes.
Awesome. So how's your okay, first just kind of give everybody a rundown of what it is that you do and what you've got going on today. And yeah, just tell us how it's going there for you.
Yeah. Oh, so I think people are so excited to be out shopping, and excited. So many people came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm so glad vendors are here." Last year we could do this, but we couldn't have vendors. And so everyone's, excited, and you can just feel the energy. So here's my friend.
You have a doggy visitor.
Oh, there was a doggy. Yeah. So this is why I just love doing this, because, people are just friendly and happy, and of course the products are, people just love them. It really speaks to them. So that's what I love doing with the Dog is Good products. And yeah, I've been doing this since 2016. I came out of the sales and marketing world in contest games and sweepstakes, corporate America, and I just wanted to do something completely different and be my own boss. And I went to the Dog is Good website. On that bottom navigation, there was a link. And I looked at that link for about 4 months and then finally clicked on it. And that day I spoke with Gila Kurtz, and and that was since 2016. So I really enjoy what I'm doing.
That's awesome. So it was a couple of years later when I did the exact same thing, Leslie. I must have seen the video for the pop-up shop opportunity go through my Facebook feed. I can't even tell you how many times, like a lot of times. And every time I noticed it, and every time I even thought about it, like, I wonder. But for some reason, I just didn't take that next step of really clicking it. It took me some time to do that, but yeah, like you, once I did it, I had that conversation with Gila, and it wasn't long after that I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the community, of course, community of dog people is just fun. They come in the booth. They want to show you pictures. This event is so much fun too, because the dogs are actually here. And but at other events, I do all kinds of events. I do RV shows. I do hospital gift shops, which are unfortunately I haven't been able to do, but those are wonderful too, because you're seeing the staff at the hospitals. You're seeing people who are visiting patients and missing their dogs if they are in the hospital. So they just want to buy the product, and you want to help them find the perfect gift. So that's always a fun process. So yeah, there's everywhere are dog lovers. So there's all sorts of shows that you can find.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, Leslie, we're not going to keep you long since you are busy at work.
Well, here I'll do one thing. I'll just show you the booth, just so you guys.
I was going to ask if you wanted to give us a little tour before we head off.
Sure. Yep. So I love my banner.
Ditto.
Yep, I love that. And what's cool about this is you don't have to be super extra fancy. I don't have, but because the product is so much fun and the folks here are so casual about everything. So, and I've been selling a lot of Bolo bites. I've been getting a lot of the pet parents to try them themselves.
Nice.
And so they're pretty tasty. And people are just walking around with their dogs, and there's only 2 other vendors here, which is awesome. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Well, awesome. Leslie, thank you so much for popping in on your, when you're out working. I appreciate the live look at a pop-up shop in action. That was
Absolutely.
amazing. And good luck today.
Thank
And
you.
we will see you in the group.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So that was Leslie, everyone. So you probably kind of caught and saw that she has her pop-up shop at an agility competition this weekend. And like she was saying, those are the funnest types of events to vend at, because everybody's there with their dog and everybody's having a good time. Everybody's in a good mood because there's dogs everywhere you look, and it's just impossible not to have fun at those events. So those are, I too enjoy vending at the dog shows and the dog agility and those types of events. So Leslie has been doing that for a lot of years. So she was kind of one of the, she tried and true, and she was one of the old workers, when I got involved with Dog is Good. Like, she'd been around for a while. So she has been a wealth of information for me and other pop-up shop owners. So we all appreciate Leslie a lot, and I'm glad that you guys got to take a look at that and see a pop-up shop in action. So we will now go ahead and move on to our next speaker. I'm really excited to have her here today. Another friend who I haven't known super long, but as soon as I asked her if she would be interested in doing this, she stepped right up, and I appreciate that so much. So Krista Karpowicz is joining us today, and she is the host of the podcast Wag Out Loud. She's a pet nutrition specialist who's passionate about exploring the latest research and findings in canine healthcare, nutrition, and overall well-being. And she's just a super awesome lady. So let's welcome Krista to the stage. Hi, Krista.
Hey, Marsha, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet. I'm excited to have you here too. And I see Winston there on your lap. I see his ears anyways.
There he is. This is my VIP, very important pup of Wag Out Loud. So I wouldn't be here without him. He's a little
without a doubt. I love it. All right, Krista. Well, I'm going to give you the stage to share your vast wealth of knowledge with our viewers. So
thank you, Marsha.
The stage is yours.
Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Krista, and you met Winston. And I am the host of the weekly Wag Out Loud podcast, and we are obsessed with canine health and nutrition. You guys, if you have a dog, you might know after doing research and going online and reading newsletters that the information out there on canine health is just overwhelming. So let me back up and tell you how all this started. It's a pretty fun story. First of all, I need to tell you, I wish I was 40 something. I'm 54 years old. And this all started just 2 years ago. The podcast just turned 2 a week ago, and I'm really proud of it. But before that, I always had a job in corporate America. So I was actually working with small business owners before I started my own thing. And I guess the real start of all of it was probably about 20 years ago. I had another Norwich Terrier named Higgins, and he was having seizures. So when we went to buy a second dog, she was already an adult, and the owner said, "We will not sell her to you unless you promise to feed raw." Okay, we can do that. So we fed her raw, might as well feed Higgins raw at the same time. And, after 3 different veterinarians couldn't figure out why Higgins was having seizures, he ate raw, never had another seizure again. So that's always been in the back of my mind. Nutrition, it really counts for something. So fast forward about 3.5 years ago, I have Winston, and we were out for a walk. And I know Marcia and I have talked about this, that some of our greatest brilliant ideas are when we're out walking our dogs. You guys might relate to that. It just came to me on a walk. I want to get certified in canine nutrition. So I had a job at the time. For a year, it took me to get certified because, wow, it's all science, a lot of information, great information. But when I got the certification, I said, now what? What am I going to do? And on another dog walk, I thought, well, I'm going to start a podcast. Not a podcast, but a podcast. And I really had to think about it. Is it just, open it up to all dog lovers, or should I go niche? And I did go niche. So all we do is have experts on talking about canine health and nutrition. So as I mentioned, the podcast turned 2 last week. And these past 2 years, I've just taken soundings along the way, and I've tried to figure out ways to monetize the podcast through sponsor ads and affiliate relationships with the manufacturers of products that I try. And if I like them and I really vet them hard, then I feel comfortable recommending them. And as an affiliate, I do get commissions off of those sales. Right now, I'm actually considering other opportunities that fit under my Wag Out Loud brand. And my big why of helping dog lovers become the best advocate for their dog's health and wellness. That's what I'm all about. So everything that I'm doing now is really new to me. I am so non-tech, it's crazy. So to sit here and know what I'm doing with podcasting and websites and SEO and social media and hosting webinars and live streams, I had a lot to learn, but it's amazing. And I'm so proud of myself for where I am now. I did try a lot of things that did not work, but I learned from those, and I had to take a step back and say, well, that was interesting. What went wrong? And how can I learn from that and be even better going forward? So I try to look at all of my victories and my defeats through the lens of fascinating instead of the lens of the other F word, you guys know. So just along the way with everything, just say, fascinating. How did that happen? Whether it was good or bad. And in a business like mine, I am right now the only team member. So it's so important to cultivate business relationships with others. You need a reliable support team. And somebody that I actually know, Ken Cragen, said it best with his book, and it was titled Life is a Contact Sport. And that is so true. And we have to remember that for business too, that we are human, that we are made to live in community. And none of us are experts at every aspect of owning a business. There is not one person on this planet. You can't be an expert at accounting and marketing and operations, social media, branding, legal. I mean, you have to form strategic alliances with others, both inside and outside of your industry, so that we can all learn from each other and grow stronger together. So I guess I would say from my journey so far is listen and learn from others, be open to suggestions and feedback, and that includes critiques, and listen for advice from others who've been there and have done that. Let them make the mistakes. So it's all about community, and no business or business owner can succeed without the right people ready to support you. And again, none of us know it all, so we should never stop learning. That is key as well. Always be a sponge. So if you have an idea for a business, not only talk to your friends and family, but reach out to someone. Maybe you don't even know them yet, who is already doing that thing or something close to it. I have a strict rule that I start all of my relationships off with either an in-person meeting if they're local, or a Zoom meet and greet. And that has been key to my business and has helped informing all of the relationships that I have, including with the women that are on here. So get to know others, their stories, why they're in business, and ask how you can support and serve them, because 9 times out of 10, they'll do the same thing for you. I think people are usually more than happy to help you. And of course, we all love talking about ourselves. So I've learned so much from others, from their wins and their mistakes. And I think they can give you a new perspective, being outside eyes on your business. And I think I remember thinking at the very start of all this with my podcast, how am I ever going to keep up with getting guests for the show? I don't really know anyone in this industry yet. So how am I going to get the great experts to commit their time for an interview and who will provide value to my listeners? And it all started with reaching out to one person, a friend of mine who was a veterinarian. And then I reached out to my heroes who I thought would be great guests, and then asking my guests for recommendations of others. And you guys, I am booked out for over a year with guests, and I don't have to look for anybody anymore. So I have built so many amazing relationships through the podcast, through my affiliates, and I have no problem calling up most of them with an idea or a question. And people in the pet industry are absolutely amazing. And these people that I know now, they're some of my biggest supporters and raving fans. So I do have a canine career worth barking about, and I'm excited to see what's in store for the rest of the Wag Out Loud journey. And I'm excited for you. If you're either already in the industry or are thinking about joining it, please do it. So follow your dreams and surround yourself with others who will support you, give you suggestions, connect with others. And it works both ways. Don't always make it all about you. Continue to build on your relationships and be willing to serve others as well. And it will get you so far in life and in business. And I love connecting with others, so please feel free to reach out to me on the Wag Out Loud website, or DM me on Facebook or Instagram, or email me, Krista@wagoutloud.com. I appreciate you listening, and have a tail wagging day.
Krista, you're so freaking awesome, girl. I just love you.
You are awesome.
Oh, thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you.
And I love. So you can see here in the background, one of my favorite books is The Go-Giver. And actually, the person who introduced me to the book is Gila Kurtz, who we'll hear from later. But like you were saying, and like the book touches upon so much, is that it's not about you. It's not about us. It's not about what we're doing or what it's about everyone else. It's about what I can do for them. And, even in my pet business, I live by that, like giving more value than what the money that you're accepting. I always try to go above and beyond and give extra value. And, I say, yeah, that's really easy for me to say because I'm just a dog walker. So for me, extra value is just like, spending an extra 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever with the dog, But even though in my mind that doesn't even seem like a big deal, like it doesn't even seem like extra, the dog owners appreciate it so much. And the dogs themselves, I mean, the dogs get the extra time and they have fun, and I truly feel the appreciation from them. And then that carries over to, the owners come home and they see how happy their dog is, and they're just like, you're so amazing. And I think just, having that connection. So and I see that we have some other great pet sitters here with us today. One of which is Mindy Anderson, and she is right that the entire group, the entire Dog is Good family, is just full of go-givers. This group here, Dogs Can Change Lives, like these women are just the best. So Mindy is also a pet sitter, so she knows that this is true too. People truly appreciate the attention that you give their pets. So me as a pet sitter and as a dog walker, when I'm out with a client, I'm one of those people that I'm not walking a dog and playing on my phone at the same time or doing like I am 100% focused on that animal. And again, the animal feels it, they get benefit from it, then they're happy. So their parents see how happy that they're excited when I get there every day. So yeah, just again, it's easy for me to give extra to animals, but in any business, just going that extra mile, giving that little bit of extra attention means so much to the clients.
Yep.
So I like that you pointed that out, and that we should look for opportunities to serve others, because those are the opportunities that bring about the greatest growth amongst us, I believe.
Absolutely. Live in a world of abundance.
Yes. I'm just scoping out. We have a lot of great comments. Everybody's loving what's going on here today, and everybody loves you, Krista, and what you're doing at Wag Out Loud. So
Thank you.
I want to thank you once again for being here with us today and sharing that with us. And again, you guys, if you want to connect with Krista, you can do that at wagoutloud.com. And there's so much information on her site. You guys, I highly recommend going over and just reading through some of the stuff that she provides. It's great information, especially if you love your dog like I love my dog, and you want your dog to be around for as many years as possible. She has a lot of good information to help that come about. So go check out
Thank you.
wagoutloud.com. And Krista, thank you so much for being here. And we'll be dropping links into the group so that everybody can connect. So we'll be seeing you in the group.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Marcia.
All right, girl. Have a good day. Yay. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Whew, I know I am, but I also know I'm ready for a break. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a 10-minute break so that everybody can get up, walk away from your computer, do some stretching. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand up and walk around and stretch out a little bit. I have some cool music that'll play for you guys to, give you a good, nice vibe. And there's a little video clip in the middle. So if you are at your screen, you'll be able to enjoy that. And thank you, Julie. And thank you so much for being here today. I'm glad that you're enjoying this. So let's take a 10-minute break. And again, you'll be able to watch your screen. You'll know exactly when we're going to pop back in. And we will have the keynote speaker, Gila Kurtz, ready to roll after this break. So definitely, you don't want to miss her. Don't go too far away from your computer, because you're going to want to hear her talk. But meanwhile, everybody go take a quick 10-minute break. Enjoy, get some water, do some stretching, and we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. right, guys. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little more energized now and ready to introduce you to someone who means the absolute world to me. So you may remember at the beginning of the summit, I shared a little bit with you about coming across the pop-up shop opportunity. I shared with you how it took me a million times to see it before I opened it up. But once I did and I made that connection, my life changed. And that's no exaggeration, you guys. There are so many wonderful things that I could share with you guys about how Dog is Good and Fur Covered Wisdom. And Gila Kurtz has changed my life in beautiful and profound ways. But that would take way too long if I got into all of that. So instead, let me just introduce her to you. She is the president and co-founder, co-owner, selling author of the book Fur Covered Wisdom, which I have right here. If you don't already have a copy, you should pick it up. It's great. She was voted Woman of the Year by Women in the Pet Industry Network in 2017. And that just happens to be the same year that she came bursting into my life. And I am super proud to call her mentor, teacher, and most of all, friend. So meet my friend, Gila Kurtz. Hi, Gila.
Hi, Marcia.
I'm so excited to have you here today and to share you with the viewers. Every time I speak with you, every time I hear you speak, when I see you share with people, it always blows my mind. So I'm excited to be here with you. And hey, the stage is yours. So do your thing.
Okay. Well, first off, I just have to say hello to everyone out there. And I am so excited. Like, the people who have been putting this summit on are near and dear to my heart. And I am just so incredibly proud of them because I feel like this summit, the culmination of it as it's been put together, really is a testament to what it is all about as far as having an idea, being excited about something, and taking action to put it into something that is real. And so, hi, Kalia. And so, yes, if some of you would say hi, then I know there's Krista, yay! Some of my favorite entrepreneurs, and Tia. I'm just so happy that you guys are here. And I'm thrilled to get to talk about my favorite thing, which is mindset. If you're going to start a business, it all starts with mindset. And so I know that you've been hearing a lot of really great ideas and different things that you can do. And let's face it, this is 2020. If it taught us nothing else, is that we all have possibility in front of us, and we really need to be in control of our own destiny. And entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. So when we sign up for that as an endeavor to pursue our dreams, to make a difference. Hi, Rebecca. It's so good to see you here. And Lisa, oh, so good. Yeah, just keep saying hi so I know who's here. No, I know who I'm talking to. I appreciate that. Mindy, so great. What was I saying? Okay, getting back to what I was saying, that 2020 taught us, we need to be in control of our destiny. And quite honestly, it reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time, The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy realizes she didn't need those ruby slippers. She had the power within her all along. And so for all of us, we have the power within us to do whatever we want to do and to make things happen and to achieve our goals and our dreams, and more importantly, to make the impact that we want to make in the world. It just starts with an idea. And given that everyone viewing is a dog lover, a pet lover, you know that there are so many possibilities and opportunities within that space. And you probably have heard of several already. And certainly there are so many things that one can do to turn that passion and love for dogs and pets and animals into something that not only is something that you can create an income from, but more importantly, something that really is aligned with your head, your heart, and your soul. And at the end of the day, when you can get aligned in all three things, that is the sweet spot. That's where the magic happens. And so I get the honor and pleasure to speak to you today a little bit about mindset and business and entrepreneurship. And so I want to share with you something that that came up for me. And I'll share with you real briefly, just a brief background on, how I am sitting in this chair as I'm sitting in here in California. I'm looking out this big giant window that's in my office at the beautiful blue sky that I get to, that's a gift to me most days. Okay, it does rain here occasionally, but Southern California is known for the beautiful weather. Hi, Stephen. And I'm from Washington, another gorgeous place in the summertime, a place where I'll be coming for all of you Washingtonians. I'll be coming up there this summer. I want to visit everybody and see that beautiful, glorious state. But how I landed here, where I'm sitting right now in my office here in California, started really with this idea in a dog park many years ago. I used to own and operate a gourmet coffee vending business. And this was in the state of Virginia. John, my husband, who is a military officer, also my partner in Dog is Good, was stationed at the Pentagon. And we were living there in Virginia. And I, for years, had already been an entrepreneur in a couple other endeavors that I built successfully. And it was right after I had my daughter, and I was thinking being a stay-at-home mom is going to be so much fun, which it has been. It was a total blast, except that I realized that I couldn't just do that. Like, I did need something, but I didn't want to go work for someone else. I am completely unemployable, as many entrepreneurs will share with you. And so it was when we discovered this gourmet coffee vending business, I was like, I could totally do this. And I'm going to do this. And so we got 5 gourmet vending machines. They're like Starbucks, little automated Starbucks. And I found somebody to watch my daughter for 3 hours, 3 days a week. And I loaded up our, at the time, only one dog, our Dalmatian Lab Mix, Zoe, in the car with me, in my little minivan at the time. And I would travel around the area where I had successfully placed these 5 different machines, and I would service those machines. And at the end of that route, I would go to the dog park there in Alexandria, Virginia. And it was in this dog park. One day, a gentleman walked in. He had at least half a dozen or more dogs in his hands on leash. And I remember sitting there playing with Zoe going, wow, I've never seen someone with so many dogs. And so I asked him what it was like to live with so many dogs. And he was like, oh, these aren't all my dogs. I'm a professional dog walker. Now this is, you guys, it would be 23 years ago. And I was thinking, this was the time when, the idea of a dog walker, professional dog walkers, pet sitters, those were not a thing, right? So I was like, what is that? You're a professional dog walker. And so he proceeded to tell me what he did, which I thought was amazing. Like, how fun could that be, just to play with dogs all day? And so I asked him, what kind of income he made. And when he shared with me he was into the 6 figures, I about fell down on the ground and called John at the time with this big giant cell phone that they had way back then, and was like, John, I know what I'm going to do when we move to Florida. I know my next job, my next gig, so to speak. And I decided I was going to be that. But when we moved to Florida, in rural Florida, in the Panhandle, dog walkers were not a necessity. And so it was in that moment that I made a decision. Hey, you know what? I really, really am fascinated by dogs. I love my dog beyond words, as many of you do. And I was like, how can I turn this love for my dog into something that I could do, that I could still stay at home, own my own life, run my own schedule, et cetera. And that's where, given my background in education, the idea of actually becoming a professional trainer came right into my head. And immediately, so what happens? You have this idea and you start researching, well, what do I need to do to make it happen? How do I make it happen? And then it happened. And then it was from there that I was attending a continuing education conference where the idea for Dog is Good was born. And so I'm not going to go into depth on the background of Dog is Good, my company. or the progression of my role as a professional dog trainer, something that I still do today. But the emphasis that I want to make as we talk about mindset today, I want to bring up a few points. Number one, everything that we ever want all starts with a thought. Always. Nothing else happens until that thought precedes it. And so many times for many people, ideas come and they go. They never get the opportunity to have breath put into it, to have life brought into it for many, many reasons. And so we're going to touch a little bit on that today. You know, why is that? Why do some people have an idea and immediately run with it and then turn it into something, while others have an idea and then never act on it, or act on it but don't fully believe that they're capable of experiencing the success and the goals that they want to accomplish, and so they fall short of their personal finish line, right? We're going to talk a little bit about a sense of awareness. So Marcia kindly shared my book, Fur Covered Wisdom, A Dog Can Change the Way You See the World, which was a cathartic piece of work during a period in which I was experiencing a very dark period in my life. You know, despite all the success that was happening around me, one must be very careful about defining what success looks like and putting into place the systems or the strategies to achieve that success in a way that, again, keeps you human and keeps you aligned with your values, and so that you can enjoy the journey. Because many times, and this is a quote from the book Essentialism, many times the pursuit of success can often be the catalyst for failure. And those two words, success and failure, have very unique definitions per each individual. We all define success differently, and we all define failure differently. But however you define it for yourself will, determine that overarching experience. But Fur Covered Wisdom as a book really was my journey of self-discovery through the eyes of dog. And it was the intentional desire to take the anecdotal lessons that our dogs bring to us each and every day and turn that into a way of living and a way of a philosophy by which to lead my life. And that, over the past year, has also transcended into another strategy that I created for myself using the word alpha. So what became painfully apparent to me over the past couple of years is that most people have a challenge in leading themselves. That without their ability to provide the best leadership for the one person that can make the most difference in their life, that they, again, fall short of the various things that, sorry, I'm turning my heater on. My room is cold here. In Southern California, I sit with a heater on this time of year, I know, crazy. So getting back to Alpha Reimagined, though, was created as a way to, that the idea of alpha in our pet world, dog world, sometimes has negative connotations. But we all know that, hey, whoever is the alpha dog is the top dog. They are the leader of their pack. And so Alpha Reimagined, for me, became a way to do a little bit more self-reflection. How can I go inward and really assess the way that I am leading myself? Because before I can be a leader worth following, I need to be able to lead myself well. And so that became a mission of mine over the past couple of years, to really look into what is the core thing that really yields success, as one defines it, right? And at the end of the day, after everything that I've studied, after all the research and education and coaching and mentorship that I've received, it boiled down to one thing. And I believe it to my core. And that is that before anyone can do anything in building a business, they have to first lead themselves. And secondly, they have to master their mindset. They have to master their mindset. I have the pleasure of coaching a number of different entrepreneurs as a mentor, as a business coach. And these are all different kinds of businesses outside of the pet space. And the common thread that people always seek the answers to is the how. How do I do this? What is my strategy, right? And they want to know all the detail in terms of the step-by-step. Here's what you need to do. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I'm going to ask you a question and to think about this. Why is it, you know, people who are in the pet industry, they own retail stores, they're groomers, they're dog walkers, pet sitters, manufacturers of various things. They are trainers and teachers. And I mean, there's so many more things that one, veterinarians, so many things that one can do in the pet space. And yet, statistically, there are those who rise to the height of their profession. They are achieving success as they defined it, both inwardly and based on external definitions for success. Maybe it's revenue driven, or maybe it's in social media world, the number of followers and that kind of thing. But there are some who do it and they make those things happen. And then there's others that just can't seem to make it happen. And it all boils down to mindset. Starting with a general state of awareness. So if I were to take you through the alpha philosophy, it starts with that A, awareness, acknowledgement that where you are right this second, whether it's in your life personally, whether it's in your physical health and well-being, whether it's a relationship or your financial situation or business, you are at point A right now. Okay. Now, most people are not 100% satisfied with point A in any of those areas. And in fact, if you were to take a second and maybe write those down, my health, my relationships, my state of happiness, my career, my business, my financial situation, and rate them from 1 to 10. If you have a 10, I think that's fantastic. And I would encourage you to notate what makes this a 10. What am I doing right that has me so alive and aligned in this particular area that it is a 10, and it's a 10 more than 90% of the time, right? But based on the conversations that I get to have every single month, my guess is that not every area is a 10. And so there are some that are going to be much lower. And that is your starting point, right? So if you are rating yourself in a particular area, and we're going to talk about the concept of building a business. So I'm going to use that as the framework for our conversation today. If you're like, well, I don't have a business yet, or I'm in business, but I'm not doing what I believe is possible for me right now, then you have a certain number that you're rating that. And that is your starting point. Well, the question then is, well, what would make it a 10? And that's a little bit of a trick question, because sometimes people don't really know. Well, I don't even know how to answer that. Otherwise, I would probably be a 10, right? So it's this awareness that we're not exactly where we want to be. And the first thing that most people will do is they want to know the how. How do I get there? And the how really has to start with what is your vision with you, which has nothing to do with how to do anything. It's all starting with your mindset. So let's start there with that. With any business or any idea that comes into your mind, there has to be an answer to this question. What does success look like to you? So when I first started dog training many, many years ago, I just was excited to start teaching again. And I was excited that that teaching was going to be parlayed into a new avenue that I also had fallen in love with. Something that if you had told me 20 years ago would be the core essence of my life, I would have thought you were crazy. I didn't grow up with dogs. I didn't have that relationship or even think that that was a cool thing. Dogs are just dogs. Some of my friends had them. I didn't really, wasn't really into them. But when I became a dog trainer, I was just excited to be doing dog training. I didn't really have a vision. I didn't have any specific goals, in terms of revenue or number of clients, et cetera. I just was excited to be doing what I was doing. And that's fine, right? When you first get into something, particularly when it's something you're very passionate about, you're just excited to be doing it. And there's something very powerful about that, because it puts you in a place that I refer to as the unconscious incompetent. And the unconscious incompetent, which is something I refer to myself a lot, has to do with the fact that when you're starting something new, you don't even know what you don't know in order to ask the questions to gain knowledge to hack or expedite the process of moving forward, right? So anytime we're just starting an idea or diving into a new industry that we're just excited about, we don't know enough to ask the right questions. Now we have a lot of role models, and I think that that's very pervasive, where people are launching into businesses and seeing that, hey, I don't have to try to figure this out. There's already somebody who's been there, done that I can learn from. And so that's that initial hack. But again, someone can tell you how to do everything that you need to do. And at the same time, you'll have all the answers, but you still may not be achieving what it is that you want to accomplish. So defining first, what does success look like to you? That awareness piece. If I'm here and I want to be here, what does this part look like? How do I feel every day? What am I doing each and every day? What kind of impact am I making? What does that really, really look like? And so for anyone who is currently in business, I would use today, May 14th, as a day of assessment. And for anybody who doesn't have a business, I would use this day as a day for future casting. And so that exercise in getting clarity around, what do you want? What do you want your business to look like? How do you want to see your life as part of your business moving forward, as opposed to your business is your life? Okay. How do you want to experience all the possibilities within your business? And what does that look like? And so there's on my wall here, which I meant to be facing that way so you guys could see some of my artwork on the wall. I have 4 pieces of art based on the designs from Dog is Good. And I'll turn my computer at the end to show you, because I'm afraid if I do it now, I might do something that's going to disconnect us, and I don't want to mess anything up here. So, but I will read it to you. So the first one says, think big. Think big. What does success look like to you? What is my life 3 years from now? What am I doing in my life? And what does my business look like? Right? And the think big piece is, we often see what we see in front of us. This is, this kind of business. This is this kind of business. This is what people do. But we don't think big enough in terms of, well, what are the things that are outside of my peripheral vision that I'm not seeing, that other people also aren't seeing, that could make it possible for me to have a very unique value proposition? What would make me different? What would make me unique? And is that still aligned with what you with your purpose, with what lights up your soul and is aligned with your values? So thinking big is absolutely huge. And having a desire. Everything starts with a desire. So the ideas that come into your head and this desire to see them come to fruition have to be so strong, so strong. We often hear about the why. Why are you doing what you are doing, right? And a great resource that most people will refer you to has to do with the why. Having to do with the why is Simon Sinek. I highly recommend just going on YouTube and searching for Simon Sinek's Why, because without a real strong desire and without a very solid why behind it, it is incredibly easy at the first challenge that you face, of which you will face many in building any business. I don't care what kind of business you're in. It is never smooth sailing. And there's a reason for that too. It's It's a law of the universe. Where there's good, there is bound to be something that is not so good. And while you're experiencing the not so good, ultimately it's going to roll into the good is going to come back. So it is a roller coaster. But when you have this deep desire, this definiteness of purpose to make something happen with whatever it is that you're choosing to do, you get up out of bed. And in the moments when you get knocked down, you get up and you brush off and you say, I don't care. I have this thing that I'm going to make happen, and it's going to happen. And sometimes it doesn't always look like like you thought it was going to look at the very beginning. And so going back to the alpha for just a second, the A, the awareness, where you are is not where you want to be, then where do you want to be? And what are some of the steps that will help get you there? If there's a deep desire and a strong why behind it, that's the first step. And then there is the belief. And I think this is where a lot of people get tripped up. For some reason, they want to be somewhere, they want to have a successful business, and consciously they believe they're capable of it. Consciously they do, but subconsciously they really don't. One of my favorite quotes comes from a book called As a Man Thinketh, and it's written by James Allen. It's a very thin book. You can get that to read too. It's written in very old English, so you kind of have to like be really alert when you're reading it. But the quote from there is, he thinks in secret and it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. And what that statement means, what James Allen meant, as many authors and scientists and leading proponents of neuroscience and subconscious and conscious education or a mindset, has to do with the fact that how you think, what you think, often, which is being controlled by your subconscious mind. 90% of your thoughts come from your subconscious mind. And that is the operating system that is controlling everything. So those thoughts are creating our reality. And oftentimes we aren't even aware of what those thoughts are, right? So if you ever found yourself, not feeling confident, or I'm too scared to do this, or I'm risk averse, there are so many things that hold us back in terms, or I'm afraid, right? I'm afraid of uncertainty. And those are things that will hold us back. So the L in alpha is limiting beliefs, letting go of limiting beliefs, which start with thought. And how do we do that, right? This is a daily practice. Mindset is a muscle that has to be exercised literally every single day. It is as important as breathing air and as eating properly and getting your physical exercise. So letting go of limiting beliefs, which is, I could talk for an entire day on that subject alone, but because we have a limit on time, what I'll say to this is, how do you begin to do this? Again, it's taking a step back and using this moment as an assessment. If I'm not where I want to be in my business, if I have a business and idea and I haven't taken action on it, or if I just don't know what I want, right? You're again at that point A and you want to be at a different point. Well, what has brought you to point A right now? Why is it that there's a stuckness in wherever you're at? If you feel stuck, or if you are, you're doing what you okay, but you know that there's more and you just can't get to that next place, or that you move forward and you see moments of success, or things going your way, moving forward, growing within your business, and then you notice that it goes backwards. Why do those things happen? Because these are the things that are often not brought to our awareness. So we are not fully aware that the things that we are thinking and our whole belief system control everything, literally everything. So as an example, let's go back 1 year. 1 year when COVID took us by storm, the country shutting down, businesses are closing all over the country. People are scared. We're holed up in our homes, and there's a lot of fear. Watching the news, all this turmoil. It's a lot of scariness and uncertainty. And uncertainty for many people breeds a tremendous amount of internal chaos. And yet, this is a year, I promise you, in 2021, you're going to see the growth of massive businesses that shifted their mindset about 2020 during 2020 and laid the foundation for explosive growth moving forward, right? Now, I know in the pet space that we were all deeply, deeply affected, but where one person is in panic, another is in possibility. And that stems from the operating system that each person has. Same situation, two different responses. That's mindset. So how do we start to gain control of our mindset? It's that awareness piece first. It's noticing what's around us and going, isn't that interesting? I have created my own reality if I want to be truthful for myself. And so what created this reality? What limited mindset thought process parlayed into decisions that I've made along the way? Because that's what it is. And so it's a time to just kind of reflect what got me here. And then as we gain further, if we want to focus further into mindset and letting go of those limiting beliefs, there are some basic strategies that can help with that. So number one is imagine your success. Like what does that really, really look like? And not what you think is possible. Like, oh yeah, I'm fully capable of doing this. Thinking bigger. What is bigger than what you think you're capable of? Like triple what you think you're capable of, because that's really what is possible. And imagine that. And then it's going through a process of visualizing it. Ideas and strong desires backed by a strong faith and belief that you can make anything happen has to be fixed with, blended with emotion, this excitement about it. This like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see how this unfolds because it's going to be so exciting as I'm learning along the way, right? So emotion that's mixed with this burning desire and this belief that any business that you start, anything that you wish to do, you can completely make happen. And you really have already plenty of proof of concept. Throughout one's life, you've had many moments of success, whether it was success in school, whether it was success in, an activity that you were engaged in, or a major accomplishment you have. You already have proof of concept. Sometimes you just have to look backwards, as Steve Jobs says, and connect the dots. That tells the story. So it's already there. The biggest weakness that people have when they feel as though they are not achieving what they want to achieve simply boils down to a lack of confidence. A lack of confidence and a lack of growth mindset. Carol Dweck, another great book that I would recommend is on mindset. And in the book, what she talks about is growth mindset versus fixed mindset. This idea that in growth mindset, one believes that, I may not have all the tools right now, but I'm fully capable of learning and acquiring and expanding my current state of excellence, right? Or filling the gaps where they currently are. The fixed mindset is the person who's like, I just don't have, people who build businesses need to have plenty of money to do that, or they need to know the right people, or they don't live I'm not in the right area to rent the right building for my dog daycare center. I'm just making some of these things up, but that's a fixed mindset, that there isn't this internal belief structure that believes it's possible to grow and expand beyond what one is currently aware of. And so taking that into consideration, how do you begin to how do you build confidence through mindset? In all honesty, it's forcing oneself outside of one's comfort zone. It's stepping into the unfamiliar with the expectation that the unfamiliar becomes the familiar. And to really own the fact that one never needs to do anything by themselves. So one of my strategies has always been, if I'm uncomfortable about something, I'm going to make sure that I'm not trying to do it all by myself. Like, there is a lot of comfort in knowing other people are engaging or going through the same thing. And so one of my favorite strategies in building mindset and growth mindset as it relates to business has to do with who I am connected with. I have been a part of masterminds for many years now, about 8 years. I pay a lot of money to be in masterminds with people who are who have done the things that I've wanted to do, or just exude, again, growth mindset. They're on the same path. They just may be further along on their journey than maybe where I am right now. So intentionally putting myself outside of my comfort zone, but not by myself, right? Not being that lone pup out in the field that just escaped from the fenced yard and being on my own. It's intentionally going outside of your comfort zone and trying new things and being with other people who've been there, done that before you, to help raise that confidence up by guiding you and supporting you along the way. And so that is the with the L in alpha, limiting beliefs. How do we begin to let go of limiting beliefs? It's awareness. It's then identifying possibly where those come from, and then having certain strategies that pull you out of that comfort zone and into new space, hopefully with others that can help elevate you forward. The P in alpha is purpose. So what is our purpose? I always love that question. And being someone in the middle of life, if you will, I always find it fascinating that people are that will say to me, like, I just don't know what my purpose is. I just don't know. And I often, kind of like cock my head like a little pup, thinking, that's so interesting. Like, the purpose, we're born with purpose. We are born with purpose. We just let all the noise in our head get in the way. You know how you know when you're on purpose is when you just stop for a second and notice when you are feeling really good, when you feel happy, when you just feel something feels easy, where you feel in flow. That's when you got to go, whoa, what am I doing right now that is making me feel this way? This is my point of purpose. And I don't mean like just going out and playing game, doing something fun with friends and family. That's fun. And yes, that makes you feel good. But when you are engaged in something that's work related, you'll know, because all of a sudden you feel different, right? And then you also know when you're off purpose, because you're doing things that drain your energy, that make you feel flat, that aren't, even if you're doing things within your business that aren't aligned with your core purpose, it does drain your energy and make things feel flat. So purpose is already within us. You just need to slow down, take a second for some thinking time, and just start to notice what lights you up. And sometimes it's looking backwards in the past. I remember as a 7-year-old playing teacher in my father's classroom. And that's what I always wanted to do. And in early stages, I was a teacher of my life, and I just could not have been more just on top of the world. It's when I deviated and started doing things that were not necessarily in that same path that I lost kind of sight of myself. Once I started getting back into my straight line of purpose, I felt differently. I feel differently to this day. And so I'm very aware. The next piece of alpha is habits. So many people who know me will describe me as one of the most disciplined people they know. And I will own that. I am very disciplined. I've always been, I always have been pretty disciplined, actually. And maybe that's just a trait that was born with, but it's critical to have the right habits in order to succeed in the things that you want to do. And a simple hack to maximize that is to look at people who are either doing or have or are living in a way that you desire, that you've identified as something you desire, and look at their habits. Habits create our everything. Habits will yield every result that you ever want to have or not want to have. Starts with the thoughts, creates the feeling that result in a habit. And so it's proper mindset and success and growth mindset for business has to be parlayed into the day-to-day habits that you engage in order to make forward progress consistently more than 50% of the time. Super critical. The A in alpha is accelerate. Accelerate the process by going through every area that you wish to go through. Health, wealth, business, friendships, love relationships, finances, play, all of those things, and put into place those previous steps. Awareness, where are you in that? If you're not feeling fully satisfied, what got you there? You got to know, you got to be able to identify that. L, what are the limiting beliefs that we now need to let go of? And can you pursue on purpose? And can you implement the habits over time that will yield you the results that you desire? So as I'm closing out here, and maybe Marsha will come back on. I don't know if people have questions. If there's time for Q&A, I'm happy to do that. As we come back and as I want to kind of pull it all together, everyone that I know who starts a business is always eager to figure out how to start and run their business. And they skip over the most important step, which is having clarity around that vision and a full sense of awareness of what they desire, a unwavering belief that it's possible, that they can make it possible, and the implementation of the habits that can get them there day after day, implementing those right habits. And for me, my vision has never been more clear with what we do at Dog is Good. As a company that manufactures gifts and apparel, home decor, accessory products for the human at the other end of the leash for over a decade, sold into stores all over the country, created hundreds of thousands of dog-loving fans simply because of one thing. It has nothing to do with the product. It has to do with the fact that we understand that dogs change the way people see the world. And for me, my mission is not about creating another t-shirt or having a cool coffee mug, which I just happen to have here. One of my favorites, never walk alone. It's not where you walk, it's who walks with you. It has to do with creating a feeling that reminds people how important their life is as they pour their love and passion into their dogs and into their pets. And as we create new things, like with our new division that we have with Dig Direct, it isn't about even creating a new division, it's empowering people. I want to see in my life, my legacy is that because of the idea, because I had belief that I could make something happen, because I had persistence and resilience and grit for the gazillion times that I was kicked in the stomach and knocked down, that I stood back up and said, okay, data, that's just data. That vision over there, which is right on my wall, that I have written very clearly, is too important to let all this other stuff get in the way. I will figure it out, and I don't figure it out alone. that message, never walk alone, it's not where you walk, it's who walks with you, is something I take very seriously. And I am blessed to have the most amazing team of people around me and through the others that have become part of the Dog is Good family to make that dream a reality. Because in a world where technology has disconnected humanity in so many ways, even though we're so connected 24/7, right, with our phones. My phone's firing off right now as we're talking. We're more disconnected than ever before, and that's something that we crave. And our animals bring that humanness back to us, and that's why I do what I do, to see others light up. And so I want to encourage all of you to go out, find your business that just lights up your life, have clarity around where it is that you want to take it. Understand that there's going to be challenges along the way, and that any limiting beliefs that you have are the only thing that are holding you back. You have the power, but you need to walk the journey with others who can lift you up and bring you along the way. And so I'm going to turn this now, because maybe see if you guys can see this, my wall. It says, think big, chase your dreams, never walk alone. It's not where you walk, it's who walks with you. And keep your eye, oops, can you guys see that? Am I showing it all right? Keep your eye on the ball. Stay focused. And with that, I'm done. And Marsha, I don't know if you were coming back.
I am. Hi, Gila. Amazing as always. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm so proud of you and all the amazing women who participated in making this summit available for people who are curious and looking. And what a great time to be in the pet world, right? Such a great
time. Absolutely. Well, before I let you get on with your day, I want to give you just a huge, huge thank you. Not just from myself, but thank you so much for all that you do for the Alpha Reimagined crew, for the entire Dog is Good family. Whenever I'm talking or trying to describe you to someone, I always tell people that I've never met in my life a person who gives so much to others. And that is you, Gila. I have never met someone who gives as much as you. And it is amazing to witness, and it's even more amazing to be part of it. So thank you for all that you do for all of us.
Well, that just touched me so hard in my heart right now. Thank you for that. That means a lot. I do love all the people, for real, in all the things. And it is what gets me out of bed every day. When I said people have difficult days, you got to expect it. There is no such thing as like every day is rainbows and unicorns. But it's on those days when it is tough, or you're hit really hard with something, and you look back and you go, oh my gosh, like can't, it'd be so easy some days to go, I don't want to do something anymore, right? But you just have the people that you love. And again, you look at your vision and you're like, it's just too important to let this other stuff get in the way. So I thank you for that. And speaking of Alpha, I am going to be doing a workshop. I think I sent you the link. So if people want to put a link, want to come to the workshop, it's 90 minutes. And oh, look at you. You're just so good with all these.
and we'll put the actual link in the group too. But
okay,
if you're excited and want to write that down right now, there it is.
Yes. I have a feeling I might make it 2 hours, because I did it in 90 minutes before and I felt like I rushed through it. So I might ask for some grace in that. But it'll take you through this process of Alpha process and it's a focus on self-leadership. What are the things that one needs to do to really step up to live the life that they want to live? Quit talking about what they want and not taking action. We only get one chance. It's time to fetch everything you want, whether it's business or life. It's your turn. It's your time. And I love to help provide the light for you guys to walk through. So thank you for that, Marsha. Well done.
You're very welcome. And again, thank you. I am part of the Alpha Reimagined group that Gila has spoken about. And, like I said before, it's literally changed my life, and in the best ways possible. So It's a great thing to check into. Like I said, I will put the link. We'll have links to everything in the group later today. So anything you guys have heard today, we're going to link you directly to that. And then we're also going to do a Zoom Q&A on Sunday. So all of that information is going to be in the group. But Gila, again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And we'll see you in the groups.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Have a wonderful day.
Bye. So how amazing is she, you guys? I could just talk on and on and on and on about how much I love Gila and just what an amazing person that she is and what just an amazing influence she's been in my life. So grateful for her. So before I close things out, with our prize drawing, so everyone who's been participating, I have your name right here in a hat, and I will choose a winner to receive a really awesome gift basket full of stuff from Dog is Good, donated by Dog is Good. Thank you so much. But before I get to that drawing, I just want to express my gratitude for all of you. Each and every speaker, each and every one of you guys who have attended today. I see we still have 20 people here on the live feed. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here today and participating in this. I truly hope that it was of benefit. I hope you heard things today that inspired you. I hope that you want to continue in the group. Feel free to jump in there and share your own stories, your own businesses. As we move forward, again, I want this group to continue to grow and to be a place where we can all come to support and inspire and learn from one another. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for networking and like I said, just supporting and uplifting one another. So stay in the group and keep an eye out for upcoming events. We're hoping to get some webinars planned and another summit, possibly like a quarterly summit. So also in the group, let us know what you want to learn about. Let us know what you're interested in and how you would like to help form the group moving forward. So let's go ahead and have our prize drawing. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we are going to have a Zoom Q&A, and that is taking place Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And I will be putting the link to the Zoom in the Facebook group, Dogs Can Change Lives. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not a member of that group, just shoot me over a message and I will send that link directly to you. If you are on Facebook, DM me. I can send it to you right there. And let's pick our winner. I hope you guys all enjoyed today. And like I said, I hope you've learned some valuable information, and I hope that you're all excited to get started in the pet industry if you're not already part of it. If you are already part of it, like I said, keep participating in the group, and we are all going to support and learn from one another and level our businesses up. So the winner of the Dog is Good gift basket is going to be Laura Packus Davis. Did I say that right? Packus? I feel like I wrote that down wrong. But Laura Davis, you are the winner. So I will post about this, that you are the winner, in the Facebook group so that you can send me your address. And you are going to have an amazing prize package sent to you directly from Dog is Good. So Laura Packus Davis, you are the winner. Congratulations. And I guess that's a wrap for today, you guys. Thank you all for being here. Everyone's excited for you, Laura. We're clapping and congratulating you. It's exciting. Again, thanks everyone for being here. Everyone who stuck around the entire, we're at 2 hours now on the live feed. Thank you so much. Excited that you were able to make it and be here today. Again, I hope you all learned something, and I hope that you stick around in the group and participate in future webinars and seminars that we present. And again, keep an eye out in the group for the link to the Zoom Q&A session that will take place this Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And all of the links to things that you've heard about today. So Chris, who's so kind to give out her book, anybody who wants a copy of that, let her know. We will have that information on the page so that you can connect with her right within the group for that. Kalia's links are going to be there for you. And of course, the link to the Alpha Reimagined sign up also. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. I appreciate all you speakers so much. Thank you for participating and supporting me. And I hope to see as many of you as possible on Sunday. And if you're watching the replay and it's past Sunday, keep an eye out in the group, and there may be another live Q&A down the road. And or just Zoom networking parties too. So if you haven't already joined the group, go ahead and join the group and keep an eye out for all of those things. And thank you for being here today, and I'll see you in the group.